Hello and welcome to EV Review Ireland. My name is Derek Riley and today we're going to be looking at the VanMoof X3. It's a pedelec, so it is a pedal assisted electric bicycle. So let's get started. With the VanMoofs, they do two models, the S3 and the X3, and there isn't a lot of difference between them really. They're the same price, they've got the same battery. The only difference is the size of the wheels, this is a 23-inch. The S3 has a 28-inch wheel, and the frame. So the S3 has a more traditional, higher crossbar frame. What some people are saying, it's man's and woman's sizes, but I don't agree with that. What VanMoof are saying, if you are above 5'8", you should be able to get on and get off the S3, and if you're below 5'8", you should look at the X3. So starting at the front, you have a optional carrier section at the front here that can be removed if you don't want it. The lights are on the crossbeam front and back LED. And they're not optional, they're obviously standard across the full range. As I said, this bike has the optional carry on the front and also the bag attached to the back of it. Lovely clean design, comes in two colours, black and powder blue. It is a powder coated aluminium frame, hydraulic disc brakes on the front and the rear, kickstand, very clean handlebar setup, two buttons, and you've got your brakes for front and rear. The button on the left hand side is for on and off, also for unlocking it if you don't have the app on you, and also the bell feature. And on the right hand side it is what they call the throttle. Some people are calling it the boost, and you can also change what level of boost when you're not moving as you're coming along. On the crossbar you have the matrix LED display. Good, I like it, the fact that it's display built into the actual crossbar. The only issue with it is in the powder blue, and in daylight and strong sunlight it's very difficult to see it, but when you're riding, what that will give you is your speed and your battery level, if you can see it, and then also when it's locked, when it's turning on, when it's charging, so it gives a display across all the different. The handlebars are adjustable, you can add in extra rings there, and also so is the saddle by coming off this rubber pop here and raising it or lowering it. Kickstand comes as mentioned. The bag is easy enough to come on and come off, and you have your mud guards front and rear as well. The motor is in the front. It's a 250 to 350 watt motor, and the batteries are all in this diagonal frame area here. Charging is in underneath the crossbeam, and also that's where the speaker is located. So the bell obviously is an artificial sounded bell. I believe you can buy a traditional bell as well if you feel that it is not loud enough, but it's fairly loud. The throttle levels or boost levels, there's 4 different ones of that, and then there is the regional settings with regards to the limits. So there's Japan, US or Europe. The battery capacity in this diagonal frame is 504 watt hours, and they're LG cells, and they're non-user removable, so it is what it is, you get what you get. Range is about 60 to 150 kilometers in eco mode, so there's a massive variation there. Charger is a 36 volt 4 amp, and you get 50% charge in 80 minutes and a full charge in 4 hours. It weighs 19 kilos without any of the accessories. It's a matrix in-frame display is what they're calling it. There is a smart lock integrated at the back. You just have to line up the white line. There is anti-theft nuts and bolts. There's GSM and Bluetooth as well, location tracking. Apps are available on iOS and on Android. Hope you're enjoying the review. If you can like and subscribe, I'd appreciate it. Let's take it out on the road and see what it's like, trying the different camera angles so you can see what I can see. What's it like to ride the VanMoof X3? The only suspension you're going to get is with the pneumatic tires, so it is going to be a firmer ride for sure. So as long as you're not hitting too many potholes, you should be grand. The throttle button or boost button is really, really good. It will only work when you are pedaling, so that's why it is a pedelec. And thank you to my German friend Toby to explain the difference between a pedelec and an e-bike. So freewheeling or just sitting on the saddle and not pressing the button, or pressing the button doesn't make any difference, so you have to be pressing the button. You can probably see by the this camera angle how difficult sometimes it is to see. You can see it there now in the shade. The speed and the battery level of your bike is in this section down here. Lots of anti-theft features on this bike. There's a kick lock, and if you go near it or move it, it will start growling at you and showing a skull on the actual LED display. VanMoof also offer a find and a way of tracking and locating your bike and guarantee to get it back to you, and kind of they have a team of people that go around looking for these bikes. They also have a maintenance package, so there's a lot of subscription models and packages that you can sign up for. With my larger shoe size, you can hear the clicking actually there of the 4-gear automatic shifter. With my larger shoe size, I find that on this model of the bike, I'm hitting the saddlebag on the right hand side. And I also found when I drove it home that when I went around a corner, that the pedal hit the ground. Maybe I was going around it too fast, I don't know. But it is something to be aware of as well. What I will say is the brakes are very good, and whether it's wet or dry doesn't make a difference with these hydraulic disc brakes. The disc itself isn't, they're not ventilated, but I don't think that make much difference. I don't think, although with the speeds that some people are going at, it potentially will, but I found these brakes excellent. So you can see, if I bring up this angle, how clean the handlebars are. So on the handlebars, if I bring it up a bit more, 2 buttons on the left hand side, and 3 different bell sounds. The 3 different bell sounds, one is a kind of a traditional bell that you're after here and there, and the other 2 are the, one is a VanMoof sound, they're calling it, and the other is a party sound. I'm not sure if that's the sound that you want with regards to bells, but the fact that you can buy a traditional bell shows too that some people prefer, because obviously with a metal bell you will get that I think the sound travels more. A very quiet ride, I'll give it that. You will hear a bit of road noise with the tyres. You will sometimes hear the electric motor depending on which way the wind is blowing. And the only other thing is, that's it, pretty much the motor. So this is helmet cam. So you can see potentially here. I like the colours, I like the blue and I like the black. It's interesting that they haven't gone for more colours than that. Potentially options in the future. What else do I like? I do like the boost. I like the boost on the flat, and I haven't had it that it would need to be any more assisted than it actually already is. It has an automatic gear change. It's a 4-gear system. A lot of people aren't happy with that automatic gear change setup, that you can't do it yourself. It does take a bit of used to, but I found it all right. I potentially would like to change it sooner or later, and that's where you start. When it is an automatic system, you start to have a couple of issues. So depending on what regional setting you've set yours to, Europe, Japan or the US will limit as to how much boost or throttle the system will give you. It will be, and it really is a little booster on it. It's a great way of taking the chore out of journeys, but I'm not sure how much assistance it would be on big hills. Like fairly flat terrain, it's coming across as grand, but it will help you up slower inclines.
So let's look at the app of the VanMoof bicycles, and a friend of mine says this is really what makes it like the Tesla of the bicycle world. So straight away on the top of the screen you can see how much battery is left in it, and you can unlock the bike there. These are some of my previous trips, and it gives you some status as to what power you used, the length of the trip, all of that. And also the percentage of battery that you spent and how many stops you made. So lots of interesting stuff there. On the middle then option is your boost that I talked about earlier in the video. There's 4 levels of boost and you can change them in the app before you set off. So if you were to buy the bike, you could set off with 4 and gradually work yourself down if you want to build up your own stamina. There is the gear shifting. It'll talk about whether you're on flat or hilly. Then you've got your lights. And then you've got your bell sounds that I talked about. There's a make a wake up sound and unlock sound, and then your unlock codes. Do you want to touch to unlock? There's my beagle puppy in the background. And then we have some of the tutorial videos that are included in the app. The pop-up store in Dublin is actually going to be here until the end of October, so I'd advise popping in and recommend getting it for a test drive.
So that is the VanMoof X3. Hope you enjoyed the review. It is a beautifully designed bike, could be more powerful. You're not getting a lot of power if there was a lot of hills in your ride. It does, on the flat it's great. It is limited to the regional limits. I'm sure people will probably try and get around that and try and open up those limits. So for just under €2,000, about a couple of euros off €2,000, you can have the X3 or the S3. Pop-up store here in Dublin at the moment, and I've been told that the store is so busy that they're looking at putting a permanent store into Dublin, but that's not confirmed yet. So is it style over substance? I don't know. A lot of people are buying them. As I said, it's a beautifully designed bike. I hope you enjoyed the review. Thanks for watching, and remember, if you think an EV is for you, leave it to me and I'll review.